What's going on, everybody? Sports Player 2.0 Daniel here. And guys, we went 4-6 in the NHL, 5-1 in the NBA, and 3-5 in the MLB. So we had a bad day in the NHL, a great day in the NBA, only one wrong out of 6, which is great. And in the MLB, 3-5, again, not what we wanted, but hopefully we can rebound. So let's move on to tomorrow's games. The Sabres are going to New York to face the Rangers. The Sabres come in at 13-28-7, and the Rangers come in at 24-18-6. The last game for the Buffalo Sabres, they won 6-4 versus the Boston Bruins, and for the New York Rangers, they won 4-1 versus the Philadelphia Flyers. And the likely starters for this game is Dustin Tokarski for the Buffalo Sabres and Igor Shesterkin for the New York Rangers. And the New York Rangers are a favorite in this one. Give me the Rangers to win this game at home. Next up, we have the Boston Bruins going to Pittsburgh to face the Penguins. The Bruins come in at 27-13-6, and the Penguins come in at 31-14-3. The last game for the Boston Bruins, they lost 6-4 versus the Buffalo Sabres, and for the Pittsburgh Penguins, they won 4-2 versus the New Jersey Devils today. They actually played today against the New Jersey Devils and won 4-2. The likely starters for this game is Jeremy Swayman for the Boston Bruins and Tristan Jarry for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And the Boston Bruins are a favorite in this one, but give me upset. Give me the Penguins to win this game at home. Next up, we have the New Jersey Devils going to Philadelphia to face the Flyers. The Devils come in at 14-27-6, and the Flyers come in at 21-19-7. The last game for the New Jersey Devils, they lost 4-2 versus the Pittsburgh Penguins, and for the Philadelphia Flyers, they lost 4-1 versus the New York Rangers. And the likely starters for this game is Scott Wedgwood for the New Jersey Devils and Brian Elliott for the Philadelphia Flyers. And the Philadelphia Flyers are a favorite in this one, but give me upset. Give me the Devils to win this game on the road in Philadelphia. Next up, we have the Columbus Blue Jackets going to Tampa Bay to face the Lightning. The Blue Jackets come in at 25-9, and the Lightning come in at 31-14-2. The last game these two teams played last time, and the Tampa Bay Lightning won 3-1. The likely starters for this game is Jonas Korpisalo for the Columbus Blue Jackets and Andrei Vasilevsky for the Tampa Bay Lightning. And the Tampa Bay Lightning are a favorite in this one. Give me the Lightning to win this game at home. And that does it for the NHL. Let's move on to the NBA. The Celtics are going to Charlotte to face the Hornets. The Celtics come in at 32-28, and the Hornets come in at 29-30. I'm going to go with the Celtics here. Give me the Celtics to win this game on the road in Charlotte. Next up, we have the Phoenix Suns going to Brooklyn to face the Nets. The Suns come in at 42-17, and the Nets come in at 40-20. I'm going to go with the home team here. Give me the Nets to win this game at home. Next up, we have the Memphis Grizzlies going to Portland to face the Trailblazers. The Grizzlies come in at 30-28, and the Trailblazers come in at 32-27. I'm gonna go with the Trailblazers. Give me the Trailblazers to win this game at home. Next up, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers going to Washington to face the Wizards. The Cavaliers come in at 21-38, and the Wizards come in at 26-33. I'm gonna go with the home team here. Give me the Wizards to win this game at home. Next up, we have the Bucks going to Atlanta to face the Hawks. The Bucks come in at 37-22, and the Hawks come in at 33-27. This is a really good game right here. I'm gonna go with the Bucks here. Give me the Bucks to win this game on the road in Atlanta. Next up, we have the Indiana Pacers going to Orlando to face the Magic. The Pacers come in at 28-31, and the Magic come in at 18-41. I'm gonna go with the Pacers here. Give me the Pacers to win this game on the road in Orlando. Next up, we have the Sacramento Kings going to Golden State to face the Warriors. The Kings come in at 24-35, and the Warriors come in at 30-30. I'm gonna go with the Warriors here. Give me the Warriors to win this game at home. And that does it for the NBA. Let's move on to the MLB. The Nationals are going to New York to face the Mets. The Nationals come in at 8-10, and the Mets come in at 8-8. Game 1 of this series was won by the New York Mets by a final score of 6-0. Game 2 of this series was won by the Washington Nationals by a final score of 7-1. So whoever wins this game wins the series. And the pitching matchup for this game is Patrick Corbin for the Washington Nationals and Taijuan Walker for the New York Mets. And the New York Mets are a favorite in this one. Give me the Mets to win this game at home and give me the over 8 runs in that game. Next up, we have the Oakland Athletics going to Baltimore to face the Orioles. The Athletics come in at 14-7 and the Orioles come in at 8-12. Game 1 of this series was won by the Oakland Athletics by a final score of 3-1. Game 2 of this series was won by the Oakland Athletics by a final score of 7-2. So the Oakland Athletics are looking to sweep the Baltimore Orioles here. And the pitching matchup for this game is Jesus Luzardo for the Oakland Athletics and John Means for the Baltimore Orioles. And I don't know who's favored in this one, but give me the Orioles to win this game at home. Next up, we have the Kansas City Royals going to Detroit to face the Tigers. The Royals come in at 22-7, and the Tigers come in at 7-14. Game 1 of this series was won by the Kansas City Royals by a final score of 6-2. Game 2 of this series was won by the Kansas City Royals by a final score of 2-1. The pitching matchup for this game is Danny Duffy for the Kansas City Royals and Michael Fulmer for the Detroit Tigers. The Kansas City are looking for a sweep here over the Detroit Tigers, and the Kansas City Royals are a favorite in this one. Give me the Royals to win this game on the road in Detroit, and give me the under 8 runs in that game. Next up, we have the New York Yankees going to Cleveland to face the Indians. The Yankees come in at 9-11, and the Indians come in at 8-11. Game 1 of this series was won by the New York Yankees by a final score of 6-3. Game 2 of this series was won by the New York Yankees by a final score of 5-3, and Game 3 of this series was won by the New York Yankees by a final score of 2-1. So the Yankees are looking to sweep the Indians here on a 4-game set. They're going to get a 4-game sweep if they win this game. And the pitching matchup for this game is Jameson Taillon for the New York Yankees and Tristan McKenzie for the Cleveland Indians. And the New York Yankees are a favorite in this one. Give me the Yankees to win this game on the road in Cleveland, and give me the over 8 runs in that game. Next up, we have the Seattle Mariners going to Boston to face the Red Sox. The Mariners come in at 13-8, and the Red Sox come in at 13-9. Game 1 of this series was won by the Seattle Mariners by a final score of 7-3 in 10 innings. They went in extras in that game, and the Seattle Mariners put up 4 runs in the 10th to win it 7-3. Game 2 of this series was won by the Boston Red Sox by a final score of 6-5, and Game 3 of this series was won by the Seattle Mariners by a final score of 8-2. So the Seattle Mariners are looking to win this series. They're looking to win the series 3-1, but the Boston Red Sox are looking to even it out. And the pitching matchup for this game is Nick Margevicius for the Seattle Mariners and Eduardo Rodriguez for the Boston Red Sox. And the Boston Red Sox are a favorite in this one. Give me the Red Sox to win this game at home, and give me the under 9 runs in that game. Next up, we have the Toronto Blue Jays going to Tampa Bay to face the Rays. The Blue Jays come in at 9-11, and the Rays come in at 11-10. Game 1 of this series was won by the Toronto Blue Jays by a final score of 5-3. Game 2 of this series was won by the Tampa Bay Rays by a final score of 5-3. So both teams won, but they both won 5-3 by a final score of 5-3. So they split the first 2 games. So whoever wins this game wins the series. And the pitching matchup for this game is Hyun-Jin Ryu for the Toronto Blue Jays and Luis Patino for the Tampa Bay Rays. And I don't know who's favored in this one, but give me the Blue Jays to win this game on the road in Tampa Bay. Next up, we have the Arizona Diamondbacks going to Atlanta to face the Braves. The Diamondbacks come in at 9-11, and the Braves come in at 9-10. Game 1 of this series was won by the Atlanta Braves by a final score of 5-4. This one's a doubleheader. It's a doubleheader, and the pitching matchup for this game is Zach Gallen for the Arizona Diamondbacks and Bryce Wilson for the Atlanta Braves. And the Atlanta Braves are a favorite in this one, but give me upset. Give me the Diamondbacks to win this game on the road in Atlanta, and give me the over 8.5 runs in that game. Next up, we have the Los Angeles Angels going to Houston to face the Astros. The Angels come in at 9-10, and the Astros come in at 10-10. Game 1 of this series was won by the Houston Astros by a final score of 8-2. Game 2 of this series was won by the Houston Astros by a final score of 5-4 in 10 innings. So that game went into extras, and the Houston Astros won 5-4. They walked it off. And game 3 of the series was won by the Houston Astros by a final score of 16-2. Whoa, they blew out the Angels in that game. So the Astros are looking for a 4-game sweep here. The pitching matchup for this game is Dylan Bundy for the Los Angeles Angels and Lance McCullers Jr. for the Houston Astros. And I don't know who's favored in this one, but give me the Astros to win this game at home. Next up, we have the Pittsburgh Pirates going to Minnesota to face the Twins. The Pirates come in at 10-11, and the Twins come in at 7-12. Game 1 of this series was won by the Minnesota Twins by a final score of 2-0. Game 2 of this series was won by the Pittsburgh Pirates by a final score of 6-2. So whoever wins this game wins the series. And the pitching matchup for this game is Will Crowe for the Pittsburgh Pirates and Matt Shoemaker for the Minnesota Twins. And I don't know who's favored in this one, but give me the Twins to win this game at home. Next up, we have the Texas Rangers going to Chicago to face the White Sox. The Rangers come in at 9-12, and the White Sox come in at 11-9. Game 1 of this series was won by the Chicago White Sox by a final score of 9-7. Game 2 of this series was won by the Chicago White Sox by a final score of 2-1. So the White Sox are looking to sweep the Rangers here. And the pitching matchup for this game is Kohei Arihara for the Texas Rangers and Michael Kopech for the Chicago White Sox. And the Chicago White Sox are a favorite in this one. Give me the White Sox to win this game at home, and give me the over 7.5 runs in that game. Next up, we have the Cincinnati Reds going to St. Louis to face the Cardinals. The Reds come in at 9-11, and the Cardinals come in at 10-10. Game 1 of this series was won by the St. Louis Cardinals by a final score of 5-4. Game 2 of this series was won by the St. Louis Cardinals by a final score of 2-0. So the Cardinals are looking to sweep the Reds here, and the pitching matchup for this game is Luis Castillo for the Cincinnati Reds and Jack Flaherty for the St. Louis Cardinals. And the St. Louis Cardinals are a favorite in this one. Give me the Cardinals to win this game at home, and give me the under 7 runs in that game. Next up, we have the Milwaukee Brewers going to Chicago to face the Cubs. The Brewers come in at 12-8, and the Cubs come in at 10-10. Game 1 of this series was won by the Chicago Cubs by a final score of 15-2. Another blowout win for the Chicago Cubs. And the game 2 was won by the Milwaukee Brewers by a final score of 4-3. So whoever wins this series wins the series, and the pitching matchup for this game is Brandon Woodruff for the Milwaukee Brewers and Jake Arrieta for the Chicago Cubs. And the Milwaukee Brewers are a favorite in this one. Give me the Brewers to win this game on the road in Chicago, and I don't know what the over-under for this game is. It never pops up for the Chicago games. I don't know why. Next up, we have the Philadelphia Phillies going to Colorado to face the Rockies. The Phillies come in at 10-10, and the Rockies come in at 7-13. Game 1 of this series was won by the Colorado Rockies by a final score of 5-4. Game 2 of this series was won by the Philadelphia Phillies by a final score of 7-5. So whoever wins this game wins the series. And the pitching matchup for this game is Chase Anderson for the Philadelphia Phillies and John Gray for the Colorado Rockies. And the Colorado Rockies are a favorite in this one. Give me the Rockies to win this game at home, and give me the under 11 runs in that game. Next up, we have the Game 2 of the doubleheader, the Diamondbacks and the Braves. The pitching matchup for this game is Madison Bumgarner for the Arizona Diamondbacks and Drew Smyly for the Atlanta Braves. And I don't know who's favored in this one, but give me the Diamondbacks to win this game on the road in Atlanta. Next up, we have the Miami Marlins going to San Francisco to face the Giants. The Marlins come in at 9-11, and Giants come in at 13-8. Game 1 of this series was won by the San Francisco Giants by a final score of 3-0. Game 2 of this series was won by the San Francisco Giants by a final score of 5-3, and Game 3 of this series was won by the Miami Marlins by a final score of 5-2. So the Giants are looking to win this series, but 3-1, but the Miami Marlins are looking to even it out. And the pitching matchup for this game is undecided for the Miami Marlins and Logan Webb for the San Francisco Giants. So I'm going to go with the San Francisco Giants to win this game at home. Next up, we have the San Diego Padres going to Los Angeles to face the Dodgers. The Padres come in at 12-11, and the Dodgers come in at 15-6. Game 1 of this series was won by the San Diego Padres by a final score of 3-2. Game 2 of this series was won by the San Diego Padres by a final score of 6-1, and Game 3 of this series was won by the Los Angeles Dodgers by a final score of 5-4. So the San Diego Padres are looking to win this series, while the LA Dodgers are looking to even it out. And the pitching matchup for this game is Joe Musgrove for the San Diego Padres and Dustin May for the LA Dodgers. And the LA Dodgers are a favorite in this one, but give me upset. Give me the Padres to win this game on the road in Los Angeles, and give me the under 7.5 runs in that game. And that does it for today's picks for tomorrow's games. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, please give me the like button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.